What's up, everybody? Welcome to Donovan Talks Cowboys. First, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed. I just started this channel about a month ago, and we have a lot of followers on YouTube, TikTok. That's really only where I'm posting is YouTube and TikTok, not really posting anywhere else. So I appreciate y'all joining. Appreciate y'all subscribing. Appreciate y'all commenting. The haters and the lovers, the DC fans and the haters. I love it all. We got some great news today, Dallas Cowboy fans. We got some great news today. Not only did we hear recently that Trayvon Diggs was feeling likely that he was going to play. Likely meaning he said 70 to 80% chance that he was going to play. That told us that he was not only healthy, he was really just getting into the conditioning and making sure that he didn't just put himself out there to get hurt. He was like, nah, I know I'm healthy, but am I conditioned to be able to help this football team? So we got great news today. Great news today. That doesn't mean he's going to start. That does not mean he's going to play 80% of the snaps. What that means is Kyer Elam and Deron Bland have some support now. We have some feeling. We know who's behind them. We know if they try to spread this ball out, which we don't know if Philly is going to do it or not, but they do have receivers. They have Devontae. They have Brown. They have another guy that they just picked up. I can't remember his name, but they have speed, and they may try to spread it out. And now we have at least three corners that we believe can play. Kyer Elam didn't play very well at times, a lot of times against Buffalo. That's why he's not there anymore. But it's not like he wasn't a talented player coming out of the draft. And apparently he's showing that talent now when you comes to the Cowboys. So much that we didn't play him in the preseason. Now, was that a thing on, yeah, let's just leave it at he's playing good in training camp and keep it there since there's not a whole lot of film in training camp. And let's just put him out there when we have the real game action. Or is that he's just one of those dudes? We were hurting the position. We couldn't afford to get him hurt. And he's just that valuable that we knew he was going to make the team anyway. And you just go from there. We don't know. We're going to look at that and see how that plays out on Thursday. Either way, we had really good news there for the Cowboys. Some of the things that I've been sharing recently since I probably last went live. Let's do that. You know, I always like to start an episode just going over some of the things that you may have missed or some of the things you may have saw that's on my mind though. Now, I said Mike Zimmer needs to be fired based on how he played the Eagles last year. All right. Now I know we didn't have a lot of our stars, but it was a lot of this about, and I'm going to talk about this later. Setting us up for success is big. All right. That means putting players in the position that you need to
We're
be
going to be
put.
better against the run just off alignment alone. This is our slot corner playing against two tight ends, three tight ends actually, and one receiver. Why is your slot corner on the field with two other cornerbacks? I have no clue. He actually makes the play right here, but they came back to it a couple plays later. He's in the game, two receivers, two tight ends. He still doesn't need to be in the game right now. We don't need a slot corner on the field. They run at him, and he actually gets ran over by Jalen Hurts, the quarterback. I mean, this is not setting.
All right. So that's one, right? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to look at some film from that game and just see where we did bad, where we didn't do good, the players that are going to be replaced anyway in that game that we hope are replaced with better players. But that was big.
Cowboy fans.
Here's another
Don't
thing.
tell nobody. I guess we got to get a few more national televised games.
This guy was all over the field against the Eagles when he was
He's
healthy.
getting back healthy. He's going to have a whole new number. Don't tell nobody. Shh. We traded away our best player by far. Don't tell nobody, though. Shh.
Now, somebody actually commented and said that, and I don't think it was under this video, but it was under a different video, and they said that he said that he can play, but they just wanted to give it some time, something like that. So in my head, I'm like, okay, give him 8 weeks, right? Like, don't rush Agent Zero, don't rush Overzone. But the reason why I posted that is because I was watching the Philly versus Cowboys game last year, and I was like, dang, number 13 was balling. He was really balling last year. So I can't wait for him to come back. At the same time, we got a lot going on when it comes to this Cowboy team. We gotta make sure we get it. One other thing, go to make sure y'all check out the poll. Will Dak Prescott return to his 2023 near MVP form? 67%. said Goat Dak is back. All right. Now that was high, and that's not. It should be higher. I don't know why why Dak has so many haters. I don't know why Dak Prescott has so many haters. I do not know it. I do not know. But we hopefully he tries to kill some of that this year. Also, another one that I wanted to go over was uh a lot of fans like to watch the Cowboys alone in a dark space. That's not really surprising. I do too. How do y'all like to watch the Cowboys game? I know one thing. I do like to watch it by myself personally. I'm going to try to make sure I stream the games since I'm doing something a little bit different here. Been doing this channel for about a month now. It's been growing. I'm gonna be streaming the games. I'm gonna do a preview tomorrow. So make sure y'all stay tuned and check out for that tomorrow. But yeah, so I want to make sure I do that. But I'm used to not watching the game with nobody because I'm intense. Y'all can see from the videos I post. I'm serious about this. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan, but I'm intense. You know, I like to talk about my Cowboys and be realistic and know what the heck is going on. So that's why I like to usually just kind of not even watch it in public or around people. But I'm a stream. If y'all want to join, definitely make sure y'all join me. I'll be streaming and going over that. Now, speaking of the Cowboys versus the Eagles, what are the Eagles talking about? The Eagles are not going to take the Cowboys lightly. That's what I want everybody to understand. They're not going to take the Cowboys lightly. You can see on their one of their news blogs and posts the six kind of keys or story headlines following the opener. This is what the Eagles have for their six headlines. Dallas has a new coaching staff, and what does that mean exactly? This is a storyline because the Dallas Cowboys, Coach Schottenheimer wanted it to be a storyline, right? He wanted to make sure that we did not give away too much. This is why the Eagles put this on there because they don't really know what we're going to run. They don't. They don't know what the offense is going to be. All they know is that Schottenheimer is the new head coach, but they don't know necessarily what that is going to look like with Schottenheimer, Dak, CD. Dak didn't really play last year. Dak missed half the season. You got CD. You got George Pickens, who wasn't here. You got some new running backs. How is he going to use Javonte Williams? Javonte Williams caught a lot of passes out of the backfield. Is he going to be that same player, or is he going to be a player that's more the running back? Is he going to hand him 20, 25? Is he just going to give him all of that? They don't really know. So that was one of their things is they don't know what to expect. The Dallas Cowboys offense, big play passing attack is the challenge. They're aware, and they should be aware. Look at the talent we have. We got a lot of talent. Dak Prescott, I said it before. Dak Prescott, for the last 4 games he's played against the Eagles, he's averaging over 320 yards a game. He only thrown 1 interception, 3 touchdowns a game. He's pretty familiar with this defense, even though he's probably going to, hopefully, he doesn't, have too much rust. But they should be worried. The history shows the Eagles defense struggles against Dak Prescott. That's all. Now, they're going to say he doesn't win, blah, blah, blah. They should be worried, especially with the additions that we have. No Micah, now what? They don't know what to expect. They do know that we have Dante Fowler because he's proven. They do know that we drafted Donovan Ezeraku, but they don't know. They don't know that Donovan Ezeraku may not play much compared to somebody like a Sam Williams, somebody like a James Houston. But they don't really know, right? They're going off headlines. They're really just going off headlines. They don't know what to expect. They don't know if we're going to blitz. They do know that we said it in a big press conference that you can design, rush and pressure without Micah. So maybe they're looking for that. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that great against the blitz. Last time I checked. Number 4 headline that they're or key thing that they're looking at: Eagles and the ground game. It's what they do. So they think no matter what, and we're going to look at this in the film. We're going to look at this, and we're going to prove that they're right. I've looked at enough now Eagles games to tell you they don't give a damn how many people you have in the defensive box. They're going to run the ball, and Dave, you better believe they're going to run the ball against the Cowboys because they don't have respect against the Cowboys. But they're going to respect us because we got some new players that are going to make them respect us, and we're going to watch some film and show you what the Eagles like to do. But they're going to run the ball no matter what. They do have some pretty nice backs. The only one we really worry about is Saquon Barkley. Let's be real. But that doesn't mean just get out of your gaps when Will Shipley and AJ Dillon gets in the game. AJ Dillon is a power back. But again, these are other just guys compared to Saquon. He's the guy jumping over people, turning around and doing all that. He's the one who has your posters on the wall, even though y'all are not fans of the Eagles, right? So we got to worry about Saquon, and it's gonna challenge us. But and especially without Overshown. Overshown played big against the Eagles when he was healthy last year. So we'll see what happens there. Number five, game one of a new special teams rules. So we got the new special teams rules. Who cares? And then they have a miscellaneous factors. These are just staples of the game. The turnover battle, of course. Scoring touchdowns in the red zone means so much. Of course, you're just going to tush push anyway, right? We just can't let them get that close. Health, yeah, in-game adjustments. This is actually big for the Cowboys. I don't know how much y'all watch, but it does feel like the Cowboys do not make halftime adjustments, don't it? Like, I don't know what it is. It feels like if we are getting killed at something in the first and second quarter, we're dying by the halftime for them to make adjustments. We're like, why are y'all getting killed for 2 quarters on the same thing? We expect y'all to make changes like the good teams do, and they come out and it happens again in the third quarter. So this is big for us too. But again, the Eagles are not sleeping on us, right? They're not going to sleep on us. The Eagles with new players and the eggs. Well, I don't know what that says. On Prescott with the four-man rush defensive coordinator frequently. Eagles had 19% blitz rate. You can blitz Dak. You're not going to beat Dak blitzing. There's all kind of stats on Dak against the blitz. He does not struggle against the blitz. Now, that said, let's see what Coach Brian Schottenheimer had to say. It's something interesting things that he had to say because if you remember, one thing about Coach McCarthy is he has some laziness rumors coming out of Green Bay. And if you listen to a dude like Brian Broaddus, he'll feel like he kind of quit on his way out of Dallas as well. But let's just take a look at it and listen to it. This was on 105.3 The Fan.
In 6 o'clock hour.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, Mike's a morning guy. I'm a night owl. That's just kind of the way I go. But again, happy to always oblige you guys. But no, it's great to visit with you guys, man. Look forward to doing this with you guys every week.
What time do you usually leave the office at night?
I'm probably 11:30, 12:30 guy most nights, and then the week's very different, right? You know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, your grind. Thursday,
that's what we want, right?
It slows down a little.
We don't want our coaches we want our coaches in the office. We want them
Friday's kind of your chance to have date night with your wife, and then Saturday you're obviously into game mode.
Hold on. We don't even want our coaches to be dating wives. They need to be the wives can come to the coaching lounge if they want, but don't spend no time with the wives.
Coach, you knew it was going to be a wild ride, but not having Mike at camp, losing and trading arguably your best player. I mean, could you have even imagined it would start off this crazy before facing the defending champs on the road?
Well, I tell you what, the fascinating thing is, you know, growing up in a football family, I've always been aware that there's things that comes across the head coach's desk, and certainly this is no different. I'm obviously excited about the team, but again, you know, really what I tried to do, guys, you guys visited with me out in training camp, was I literally tried to just limit the distractions and focus on the guys that were out there working. And I had great communication and conversations with Mike all throughout training camp. But at the end of the day, look, this was a unanimous decision. And again.
Yeah, I'm done with Micah.
Philosophical thing. A lot of our listeners want to get your football philosophies as we move forward throughout the season and the years. I get made fun of because I keep talking about run defense. I've seen this team for years, and you've talked about physicality. Get pushed around and kind of controlled in games where I feel helpless as a fan watching them not be able to stop the run. Talk about that and why people say, well, you don't trade the elite pass rusher in a passing league for a run stopper and focus on run defense with the analytics and all that stuff. Can you just talk to your philosophy of run defense?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, I agree with you. And again, you know, like there's something when you're on the sidelines and you're coaching, you're playing, you're a fan and you're watching the game, and it's like first down run, 4 yards, second down run, 4 yards, 5 yards. It's 3rd and 1. Okay. New set of downs, converting 3rd down. Then it's a pass, but then it's another run. Like, again, when you can't slow a team down and when you have elite rushers, teams know, they're like, we're not going to let you rush the passer. So we're going to come in committed. You guys saw it a few years back against Green Bay when they came in here and basically just wanted to pound the rock at us. And it's a tough thing because there's things you can do to create pressure on the quarterback. There are things. There's blitz packages. There's all kinds of different ways to do that. And again, I feel like we really have some elite edge pieces. I think you got Dante Fowler out there who's going to, have a terrific year. Donovan Ezeraku. I mean, I'm so excited to watch him go out and play, early in this part of the season. Sam Williams, Marshawn Nealon. I mean, the names continue to go on and on. And but there is absolutely something to when your football mantra starts with two things. And this is what our football mantra starts with, guys. Number one is winning the turnover battle. You have to do that. We want to have 3 takeaways every game on defense and give none. We call it a goose egg. And then the second part of the mantra is own the line of scrimmage. It is incredible.
All right, so he said a lot there. Now, this is all important. It's good to hear Brian talk about all this. Of course, he's going to have to show it, but he said a lot of good things there. A lot of good things there, and we need to see it. We do need to see it, but we got to stop this run. We got to stop the run defense. He has a great run philosophy. He wants to make sure we stop the run. He wants to make sure that his DBs stop the run. I don't know if that's a Trayvon Diggs type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know but we see that the types of guys that they were picking up and things like that, you can see that they were trying to bring that back. Now, I went over this before. There's a reason why they're changing the philosophy. There's a reason why. Rushing yards per game. Last 5 Super Bowl winners. Compared to Dallas, the 2020 Tampa Bay, they were number 1 against the run when it comes to rushing yards per game given up. 2021, it was LA Rams. They were number 6. Kansas City was number 8. Kansas City fell off a little bit the year before, but they still had Patrick Mahomes, but they were still better than the Cowboys, number 12. And then Philly last year was number 1. There's a reason why you have that philosophy. We're not talking about the trade and everything, but there's a reason why you keep hearing philosophy change. You keep hearing we got to stop the run. How many times did Jerry say that in the press conference? Yeah, they're trying to sell the trade, but you just heard it, Brian Schottenheimer. They believe in it. Schottenheimer just said, I know a team's physical based on their DBs or based on their wide receivers blocking, things like that. So we got to make sure we take that serious. I also brought up before, we got to have our linebackers play well. When you look at the film and you look at the good defenses that play good and you look at the bad ones, it has a lot to do with how the linemen and the linebackers play. And our linebackers right now are kind of unproven. We've talked a lot about the defensive line. Our linebackers look good in preseason, but the projected starting linebackers played on bad defensive teams when it came to against the run. Now, I had a lot of people comment under my video saying, look, they're going to be playing together. We have a new defensive coordinator. All those things are the things I hope as well. Maybe Damone Clark isn't starting or Jack Sanborn isn't starting. Maybe that's Maurice Leofau. I liked him too. We do have Overshown coming back midway in the season. All that is good. I'm just talking about Thursday, though. I don't know much about Kenneth Murray, but I know enough to know they liked him enough to where he ain't playing the preseason. Jack Sanborn, I know enough to know that he knows how to scrape and then hit. I don't know how well he takes on blockers, but I do know he knows how to, hit the right gap and do that. But again, I don't know. He wasn't a full-time starter either. Damone Clark, I know he led the defense in tackling a couple years ago, but he's been on a pretty bad defensive team when it comes to against the run. So we have some question marks there, which is why I spent a lot of time watching film on and how we need to do that. And we're going to do that again today. So we have some keys to success. Just like you heard Coach say, and just like you saw in the article from the Eagles, no turnovers on special teams. When it comes to special teams, the different phases of the game, we got special teams, offense, and defense. We can't have turnovers on special teams. We would love to have a touchdown. I believe Turpin is going to do everything we want Turpin to do. He's going to put us in good field position if they kick it to him. I believe he's going to have a chance to score if they kick it to him. But even if he doesn't do any of that, no turnovers. That's the last thing we can do. You can either get us pinned down to the 10-yard line or something like that, but you cannot turn that ball over on special teams. You know why? Dak may give up one. Let's just call it what it is. If they stop the run and Dak has to throw the ball 35, 40 times, the defense is good enough to where Dak may throw an interception. That doesn't mean Dak is a bad quarterback. That just means knowing how these games work. If Philadelphia forces controls the football 35, 40 minutes a game like they did last year for the league lead, that makes the Cowboys and Dak Prescott have to rush on offense. That's when the interceptions go up. It's not because Dak Prescott all of a sudden doesn't know how to play football. He just is not a very well, not the greatest when you don't give him any defense and you give the other team the ball for 40 minutes and you say, hey, go score 30 in 20 minutes. That's hard to do with no running game. And now the defense knows I have to pass it. He's going to throw a pick. So we can't give up turnovers on special teams, especially knowing we may give one away on offense. And it may not be an interception, maybe it's a fumble, whatever it may be. We're probably going to give away one at Philly. On offense, if you looked at that last game against Philadelphia, and this wasn't Schottenheimer, we had Cooper Rush in the game. And go look at it. What's his name? I don't even know his name anymore. The coach we had last year, I'm gonna call him that. The coach we had, McCarthy. This dude went and started Cooper Rush and threw 3 straight passes. I don't want coaches who gotta outthink themselves. Like, I don't need that. You have a backup quarterback and you think you're gonna throw 3 straight passes against them. No, that tells me right there you had no faith in your run game. No wonder you couldn't run the ball. You had no faith in it and you came out and showed that. It's ridiculous. So Schottenheimer needs to have a plan like all those other great coaches. Those great offensive coordinators, they already know what their first 15 scripted plays are, whatever it is. He needs to have a better plan than what McCarthy had. We can't be doing this 3 straight passes with a Cooper Rush type thing. That tells me McCarthy didn't have a great plan. He just went out there and just said, I think everybody thinks we're going to do this, so I'm going to do this. Let's pass it one time. Oh, that didn't work. Well, they're probably thinking we're going to run it this time, so let's pass it again. Oh, well, that didn't work. Well, they probably stupid. Another thing, I'm going to do. Look, everybody knows how great Tyler Smith is. I just want y'all to understand when you really just watch him, this dude is I'm talking about damn near good, like damn good. I mean, like if the Cowboys were to win a Super Bowl, you would be talking about him like they talked about the Larry Allens of the world. That's how that great he is right now. Last year when they were playing the Eagles, it's a reason why they're going to pay him and pay him well because so run behind him. You know what I mean? Like run behind Tyler Smith. Just run behind him. Don't overthink it. There's also a reason why we got rid of some running backs. There were some running backs we had playing that just weren't hitting the holes, and you don't really see these things until you break it down. But there's a lot of little details in the running backs that you see that really make it and make it well versus those that are not that good. And a lot of it has about how they use their offensive line. Run behind them. The last thing for the key for offense, get it to our playmakers. All right, let's just get it to our playmakers. We have 4 of them that we know are proven guys: CD, Pickens, Turpin, and Ferguson. Not just CD, Pickens, and Ferguson. Turpin is an offensive playmaker. I know he jumps in the air sometimes. I think he gets a little anxious to catch the ball because we never throw the fucking ball to him. All we want to do is put him out there and hand him a ball every once in a while. No. Can we just use him as a legit 3rd slot receiver, please? Like, can we just do that? I don't want to play. I'm putting all this on Schottenheimer because this is all the things I'm sure he sold Jerry Jones on. I can do all the things that everybody, all the fans want, all the things we know, okay. I'm going to judge that by how you use Turpin. That's how I'm going to judge it. I'm going to judge it by how if Javonte Williams goes out there and he looks like he's just a regular guy, I'm going to judge it by how you switch up that running back. Are you going to do it like they did it last year where McCarthy said he was free to do whatever he wanted, but Zeke came in, and even though Zeke looked old when he was here before and looked old with the Patriots, Zeke came in and still didn't have to play in the preseason. Zeke came in and still started over the guy we knew should have started, Rico Dowdle. I don't like Schottenheimer has a lot to prove for me. And one of them is how are you going to use Turpin? What are you going to do with the running backs? We feel like Jadon Blue is a player. We all feel like that. Are you going to use him if he's healthy? Defense. Michael Parsons has been a lot of talk, so of course a lot of people talk about the defense. Defense. Coaches must set up players for success. We did not do that very well last year. I went over one of those plays where we did not do that very well last year, where we had it was clear that the game plan that Zimmer was doing last year on defense was if they had more than one receiver, for whatever reason, he felt like we needed to have nickel formation. We needed to have three corners. And you saw it time and time again. Every time you had the Eagles offense had one receiver or two receivers and a tight end. There was one time where they had three tight ends and one receiver, and we had three cornerbacks on the field. Trayvon, uh, um, the slot, and then the other dude. So we were not set up for success. I'm assuming Eberflus is going to set us up for success. He's going to watch that film and be like, well, damn, no wonder we really couldn't stop the run. We didn't give up 7 yards a carry, but we gave up almost 5. And no wonder we couldn't stop the run because we were treating our cornerbacks like they were safeties or cornerbacks like they were linebackers. That's what the issue was. Last time I checked, the Eagles don't have great tight ends. Why do we need 3 cornerbacks out there if they only have 1 receiver or 2 receivers? It was ridiculous. Linebackers must play fast and trust their eyes. We're going to go over some film. We're going to show you why, because the Eagles put a lot of pressure on the defensive line. They do a lot of double teams. They put a lot of 2-on-1 blocking. The linebackers have to read the double teams and attack, and you will see Agent Zero do that a lot last year, and you saw that. And we have to make sure we tackle. Unfortunately for the Overshown, he plays so fast to where he will miss tackles. He will run into other dudes. I don't know if y'all remember, but he ran into. There was one time where he ran into number 50. I can't remember number 50's name, but he just ran into him, missed the tackle, ran into him. It looked kind of sloppy on film. But you're going to see all that and more. So let's get into that. Let's get into it. As everybody kind of comes in and out on this, I do like to break down film, and I like to take my time when I do it. So sorry about that. But this is really what it comes down to. This was like the first play of the game on defense. Now, here's what I mean as far as how do you play the double teams. Look at how they have 2 bodies here, and so they're double teaming. On a lot of guys, the way they play the Eagles, the bad linebackers, by the time they realize that it's a run play, this ball has already been handed off, and the linemen are already on them, and they're still back here. So you got to see it. Now, you can't open yourself up for play action, but you got to play it and play it smart and play with your eyes. So watch Overshown. Boom. He's already hit, and now this guy can't come off and double team him. And that's what they want. They want those guys to double team. And look backside, you can see number 50, he kind of gets hit backside. Look where he's supposed to be going. Number 50 is supposed to be hitting it right here, so 69 doesn't hit him. Look how Overshown is looking. He's coming. 50 should be coming too. It looks like he is, but he's hesitant. That's why he's not playing with the Cowboys anymore, because he was so hesitant. He's hesitant. He should be boom, knocking the number 69 into the hole. That way there's no cutback. You got another player coming here. He should be coming into this gap. It's all about gap discipline. And the only guy that really played it well is Agent Zero. So I don't know about the other linebackers we have. We got to see. Because you have to play it like this to stop them. You can't let that double team happen. I'm really not looking at pass coverage. I just wanted y'all to show, I just wanted to show y'all how dominant this dude is, and we need him back. But let's get back to the run game. All right. Here's another play in the red zone. They pull. So when they pull, the linebackers have to see that pull, and somebody should be meeting this puller here in this hole, because that's usually where the ball is going to go, or it's going to go backside. That's why you got to have your backside and your gaps. Okay, so look, Hurts kept the ball. He's following that puller. There should be linebackers and people over here, and there's nobody there. Why is there nobody there? Let's see what the linebacker does backside. He comes up, but then what? He just he's too soft. He's supposed to be running full speed in that gap and blowing all that up. Too soft. What else do we have? He's next. Let's see what he does. How physical is he? right? It's not about just your D lineman and things like that. What are you going to do once you recognize it? Still not sure, still not sure, still not sure, still not sure, still not sure. This is actually a cornerback, so no wonder he's not sure. This is called not setting your players up for success. That is a cornerback. That's Jordan Lewis. Gets run over, touchdown. All right, next play. Okay, Mozzie. Okay, Mozzie. So Mozzie gets off the ball pretty quick here. Makes the play, almost. Oh, so he keeps it. So we got to be disciplined because this can happen. So Mozzie goes. That's fine. He has running back anyway. So he goes. He tries to go get the running back, but 91 got to make sure he stays home and he plays it well. Everybody swarms to the ball. This is how you have to play it. Jalen Hurts will keep the ball. He gets a lot of touchdowns and a lot of first downs like that. All right, watch the linebacker here. Watch how wide he gets. His gap is right here, right? So when he starts to go wide, he widens that gap. And guess where the running back goes? Right there. This is why the Eagles are so good because when you run the ball and you're good at it, y'all, you force teams to have to be physical. The only way number 50 can play this correctly is if he says, I'm just going to go full speed and hit somebody in the mouth to make sure I cover my gap. As soon as he says, I'm not going to do that and I'm going to start running around, it's a win for the offense. It's a win for the offense every single time. Luckily, you have one player playing football, and that's Overshown over here. So watch Overshown. Boom, he engages. He gets held, still makes the play. We're not going to have Overshown Thursday, so we got to make sure that the guys we have, hopefully Sandburn and Kenneth Murray, are better than what we're seeing on the field on here. Goal line. Look how many people they have right here. Not only do they have their 5 linemen, they got a receiver real close who can help out on the line on the block. They got Devontae who can help out. They got a tight end who can help out. They got a receiver. So everybody's here. Good. So right now, we have a guy who gets some penetration up the middle on that left side, which causes the running back to now have to kind of make a move and bounce. So we got good penetration. And now you can just slow, you kind of see the linebacker here. You still want him to go, right? Like this is you see little things like this, you be like, yeah, he's a good player, blah, blah, but go. This is your gap. It's a run play. When you see it, make a decision. Play with your eyes and go. They're gonna hit some play action, but that's why like we gotta have corners for that. We gotta have DBs for that. But why are you shuffling right here? Go. As you watch these plays, you'll see we're not giving up a ton of yards, even though they averaged a pretty good and they played really good and they averaged a lot of yards against us, but it was some big plays that they had. So right here, they're pulling, and watch what he does this time. He sees the pull and he knows, okay, they're pulling. I'm supposed to come where that pull is going and meet him there. Boom. The linebacker has backside. Let's see what he does. He goes, but why did he go so wide? That's not his gap. Even if the puller goes out there, your gap is here. You see how the Eagles do? They'll trick you and do something like that. They'll have you do something that's just a little minor mistake. He's not supposed to go that wide. Now we have nothing in the middle of the field. We have people scraping over. You get a lot of yards. Look, number 50 did nothing. He's not giving us anything over here. Look at this. He's playing soft. Ugh. This is what we were playing with last year. Sorry, y'all. This is not a run play, but I know I just wanted to show Overshown. He missed that tackle right there, though. And that's what I mean. He plays so fast, he would miss tackles. Again, he ran somebody else over when he missed a tackle on a touchdown. He honestly gave up a couple touchdowns. Just saying. There's some good and there's some bad. Way too much time. Way too much time. All right. This looks like a straight. Okay. They got somebody coming across. Look, nobody touches number 50, but watch how slow he plays. Nobody even touches him. Good job avoiding the block there. Maybe I was a little too critical. Is this Mozzie up here? Look at the penetration right here. Boom. Good penetration. Comes off. Basically makes that play. That's Mozzie Smith right there. That's your starting defensive tackle all 17 games last year. He made a couple plays. Don't be surprised if Mozzie, I guess, well, he's probably not going to start, but he's probably going to be the third guy up. Uh-oh, double team time. This is what Mozzie doesn't do very well, is face those double teams. Here it comes. Boom. Let's see how the linebackers come downhill. Do they come downhill? Look, the double team, they're going to double team and try to work off the linebacker. He has to come downhill. This guy has to come downhill once he reads it's a run. They're playing too slow. 18 has to be coming downhill. That's what Overshown does. He's flying. 50 has to come and play more physical. Good job by Leofau. I think Barkley left some room on that play because I don't know what he's jumping outside for because he had blockers. So he jumps outside when all his blockers are on bodies. So if Barkley, goes inside and does all that, he would have probably had more yards. But linebackers and linemen have to play together. Good job by the DB keeping contained, keeping that outside arm free. This is better. Now, luckily, he didn't cut back. And the reason why I say that is we lost our gap here, right here. So we lost our gap here. So if he sees that outside run is not really there, and look at that, our linebacker is running toward. If he sees this, and it's all happening fast, of course, but that's why you want to be patient. But if he sees this, he may have had a chance to kind of cut back. He tries to cut back late, but by that time, that's poor blocking as well. But we played that well. We got to do that. Double teams, pull. Oh, y'all notice the guy in the middle of the field? Notice how different he plays and moves compared to the other guy. Watch how he doesn't let the lineman get up on him. Boom. He's so much faster. And this was a good job by both of them. But when they're playing on the middle of the field, Overshown was so much quicker and faster being able to get and beat his blocker. It looks like 69, because 69 doesn't even help out on the D-line. 69 usually would chip here and then go, but he doesn't even do that because he knows Overshown is going to see it, and he's gone. He can't get to him. So there's the cutback, right? So you don't think that Barkley didn't want to cut it back there. He did. He wants to kind of cut back, but Overshown is gunning. And that's why number 69 was trying to hit Overshown, because that's where the hole is supposed to be. You don't really want this play to have to go all the way outside, because the further outside you go, the longer the play takes. You would like to be able to start outside and then boom. But Overshown, one player, was able to stop all that from happening. And then you have good job 50 over here scraping over the DN, scrapes. Everybody makes it go outside, so that's a good play. That's what the defense wants. Uh-oh, too many yards here. Looks like we're playing soft at D tackle here. Oh my goodness, I've never seen that move. What is this here? Look at him. He literally stands straight up and just takes some kind of sidestep. No wonder you guys gonna get blown off the ball. What is that, brother? No, that is not how you play it. Is he getting held here though? They're not gonna call it. Again, 50 is it's like he reacts well, but I don't know why he always gets so wide on his. You have to attack these guys and stay in your gap. Look how wide he gets. He's just giving all that away. Look at the gap now. These are the little things like the Eagles, the Cleveland Browns. Watch when they play Philadelphia. You're not seeing guys running all around. No, you're not seeing that. He's just going to run it right there where you gave up all that gap, all that space. Straight handoff to the outside. First thing you notice here, I'm not going to attack Parsons. He's clearly running a stunt for whatever reason. But there is no stunt that says you can go 2 gaps over. You can do a stunt and go 1 gap. But going 2 gaps over makes that a very wide gap that you're leaving. And it looks like they caught us in some kind of man coverage because now our outside contain guy is no longer there. So this was a good play call. They caught us in the man coverage. He was probably going to be the outside contain guy. There was probably no communication. So he goes inside, but then he gets caught by 2 guys. Watch. So now he's actually 3. Now he's 3 gaps. So now they have so much more space versus if he's just going inside, he's usually supposed to go inside and be here. So he's supposed to be here versus he ends up with 3 guys. So that's one thing. And then everything else from there is just that was the biggest thing. So communication, you just got to make sure we communicate. Got to make sure also when you run that stunt, you can't get so inside. Who's a beast in the backfield? Delta Roots advantage Dallas has is there are no film on. Yep. New offensive coordinator and head coach. You don't know how their game plan. Okay, gotcha. I see. Okay, so you were talking about earlier when we were talking about the yes, the keys to success, the element of surprise, things like that. Coach Schottenheimer hasn't been. He's been talking about it. He's been clearly talking about it. Look, the element of surprise is our advantage. They don't know what they're playing for. All they know is to be physical and do their game. That's what they're going to do. Make adjustments like the good teams do, like Super Bowl teams do. They're going to make adjustments on the fly. So we have to make sure that we have a great first 15 plays. That's why I said that Schottenheimer can't talk all this talk and then get on offense and do some stupid plays. All right, go out there with three receivers on the first drive on the first play, and then have Turpin go in motion and freaking hand him the ball off. Like everybody knows that he doesn't need to do that. All right, he's a beast in the backfield. I think you're talking about Javonte Williams. I hope so. I saw some of the old footage that's been trending recently. It looked like college film or high school film. I know he has ability. I know he can catch the ball out of the backfield. I just hate that he was so great that we couldn't see him do something in the preseason. Like, he's a running back. You ain't surprising nobody with Jonte Williams. He already has film out. All right. If anything, you should have had Jaden Blue if you're going to be so element of surprise and hide people. But I hope Javonte brings an element of physicality that we did not have. Because every time I think about physical running backs, I think about Tony Pollard not being able to get in that end zone in that important game that we needed. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So the Cowboys got to be physical, man. They got to be physical. Look at number 13, y'all. He's the only guy who plays it the way I'm saying we got to play it. He sees and trusts his eyes. He's not worried about play action because maybe that's not his freaking responsibility. All right. So he goes, he sees it's a run play. You're not going to catch him with a lineman. These linemen know I can't really help on the line on the double team. I gotta hurry up and get to the linebacker. These linemen already know that that's what the film's going to show when Overshown is playing. We got to account for number 0. We got to account for him. We don't really have no film on these other guys, so I don't know what's going to happen. But look how he reads it. Boom. Barkley wants to go in that gap, and he doesn't do it like 50. Remember, number 50, he was doing this, and then he would go all wide. You got to hit that shoulder, or you got to be really tight. What Overshown does wrong here is he tries to go around it as well. And look what happens. So he reads it and hits it well, but as soon as you try to go around it, look, y'all, we have to be physical against this team. That's what football is. I don't know if anybody's ever played linebacker. I want anybody that played linebacker and who played it well or played it poorly. I don't care. Y'all tell me the difference between a good linebacker and a bad linebacker. The good linebackers play physical. You can't go around blocks. I said it with him before. I'm going to say it with Overshown. He's had a good game, but he gave up touchdowns when it comes to missed tackles, and you're going to give up yards as well when it comes to doing this. You have to attack that number 77's shoulder and hit him back and make 26 have to make a move. Now, he gets hit. He gives up more room. It's just you got to play. You got to play way more physical than that. Way more. Okay, so you're talking about Overshown. Okay, my bad. You were talking about Overshown. He's a beast. He is. He is. He is. He had about 11 tackles, and you can see. I mean, he wasn't just all downfield tackles. He was making tackles tackles in the backfield. He's a great player. Can't wait to have him back. But at the same time, I hope he's a game studier. I hope he studies the game, right? Which it looks like he does. It looks like Overshown studies the game based on how fast he plays. But I hope he now looks, and I hope the coaches hold him accountable and say, "Hey, man, you had a great game this game." But look what happens when you try to go around blocks. When you try to go around blocks, they just use that speed and that momentum against you. And now look, nah, man, we need you to go and hit that guy in the mouth because that's where the ball went, right? So we just got to make sure Overshown knows that. But he played a good game. But this is what you need from your linebackers. It's not just on the lineman. It's not going to be just Kenny Clark. It's not going to be just Osa. It's not going to be just Sam Williams. It's going to be all those dudes. All right. So when they pull, we can't get too far up the field. I know y'all know that, but I'm just saying, watch the defensive linemen. They get too far up the field, that just widens the gaps. That's what they want you to do. They want you to think it's a pass play or something like that. Good job by the defensive end here. I believe that's Golston. He's not very athletic, though. So that's one thing. When you play teams that have athleticism at quarterback and running back, right? It's like speed. Like Javonte Williams isn't a speed guy. I don't think you have to have a speed defensive end or speed defense to catch Javonte Williams on a toss sweep. To me, I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Miles Sanders seemed to have speed before, but he didn't show it in the preseason. And Jadon Blue, of course, you got to watch. But yeah, so Golston didn't have much speed. He played it well, but he hesitates. You can see him watch. He kind of hesitates. He doesn't trust his eyes. And then boom, the ball's around him. He's not going to catch Barkley in the foot race. That's just not going to happen. Now, what else happens? How physical is your defense? It tells you a lot based on how physical your linebackers and your DBs are. This is a linebacker here. This is our starting linebacker on Thursday. He's just wearing a different number than he wore. I think than he's going to wear. Number 18 is Damone Clark. Hey, man, you see this ball handed off. Why are you playing so soft? No, man. That's way too soft. That's a receiver. I'm gonna need you to go in and attack him. He should have blew this dude up into Saquon Barkley. We got to be more physical than that. We got to be more athletic on the edge and not be hesitant. And we got to be more physical. That's how you stop the Eagles. You ain't gonna hold them to under 100 yards, but you can't let them run for 150, and you can't let them rush for 4 or 5 yards a game. That's one thing Schottenheimer said. He was like, "Look, y'all, we've all as even fans." We can watch football and be like, dang, they hand it off, get 4 or 5 yards, hand it off and get another 4 or 5 yards. That's demoralizing as a fan to watch. And you don't stop that without being physical. That's the only way you stop it. You can't finesse everything and get somebody to just make a move and get in the backfield every play. You just have to be able to be steady, steady, steady every play. Good job here. Mozzie didn't play that bad. So far, I haven't really seen a whole lot of bad. Oh, that's not Mozzie. That's Osa up top. Here's Osa. So good job here with Osa running with his lineman. Here's what we don't want. Look at number 50. Number 50 tries to overrun it, and watch what happens. If this was Saquon, Saquon would see what number 50 does. Watch number 50. He thinks he needs to run around this block, and he does it so soon. If he sees this, he cuts back. I think I looked at this play earlier from a different angle. It definitely looks like he could have cut back. Look at all that room. And he tries to see it too late. But he really saw it earlier because 50 already made a decision. Once he thought the dude was going outside, he was like, okay, let me just go. Got to be patient. Again, setting up for success. Are we setting our guys up for success? I believe this is a play. I know I looked at it from a different angle. We have, I believe, one receiver on the team. There's one receiver, I believe, on offense. We have three cornerbacks on the field. I know you can't see the wide version. There's three corners on the field. This is the third corner. There's no reason for him to be on the field, especially in the red zone. Especially in the red zone. And they did this multiple times with Mike Zimmer's defense. I don't know why. Because they're just going to run at him. That's all they're going to do. They're just going to run at him. And he's going to get drugged in the end zone. All right. Now, that being said, it wasn't a very good play physicality-wise when it comes to number 50. He didn't read it well. He's supposed to be scraping over, see the pool, scrape over, be more physical. He gets caught. They block it very good. They block it well. Damone Clark doesn't take on this Pooler very well. He plays soft. Gets blown out. Look at that. Didn't play that very well. And then end zone time. Last play. Trust your eyes, man. Trust your eyes. This is clearly a run play. Clearly a run play. Trust your eyes. Gap. Hand the ball off. Easy money. And then look at number 50. Just so hesitant. He was so hesitant. It's like then he sees it and then he's just go get the guy. He doesn't trust his athleticism at all. That was the biggest difference between guys that are not athletic versus guys that are athletic. Overshown knows he's athletic, so he runs and he moves so much quicker. Eberflus is the linebacker whisperer. I'm not worried. That's his specialty. Hey, if I didn't know a thing about Eberflus and somebody were to say he's a linebacker whisperer after just watching what I saw in the preseason games, I would say, yeah, I agree with that because Clark looks different. Maurice Leofau looks even more instinctive than he did last year, which we already showed. Sanborn came out there and made a play. Shamar James was making plays. Yeah, I agree. I can agree with that. You're gonna have to show us on Thursday, but I can agree with that. Delta Ruiz again with Dan Quinn. He had too many cornerbacks on the field. Yes. Having safety playing linebacker. That's why we weren't physical. Hopefully, with Eberflus emphasis on linebacker play, and that's what I love about having new people come in as well, because they have to look at this film. I mean, this is the same Eagles team, so they're going to look at this film, and he's going to look at this and be like, "Look, y'all, look." And he ain't gonna shit on the other coach, but you're gonna have to be like, "Look, the first thing I'm gonna do is put y'all in position to make plays." Now, at the same time, you got to be physical. You're still gonna have to be physical. Now, he's gonna take that other corner out when we don't need him. The safeties we know are pretty physical, but Malik Hunter gonna have to come downhill. We know Donovan Wilson's gonna come downhill. Our linebackers, they're gonna all have to come downhill. Mozzie has to improve, or should he get cut? Well, look, he ain't gonna have no guaranteed money after this season. They clearly okay, let's talk about Mozzie. You have him, he has guaranteed money. Here's what you want to happen. And this is what we also probably want to happen because we have enough film to know that that's probably not your future. Here's what could happen. What if Mozzie comes out and he plays really, like, he shows that he's an improved player. Like, clearly he's improved, which is hard to say, right? We've seen preseason games. But what if that's what he showed? You trade him during the season. Now, what else has to be shown? You have to be confident in Jay Toa. You got to have no injuries, right? You can't have Winfrey hurt. You got to have Jay Toa, but you can trade him I think they would have traded Mozzie if he had value. I don't think Mozzie had value enough to just say, oh, let's just get rid of him on a 7th-round pick, or let's just eat the money that we still have to pay him, like pay him and not have him play for the Cowboys. You know, Jerry's not going to do that. And at the end of the day, he did start 17 games, so he gives you something in that locker room. He gives you something in the film room or whatever it may be. So you don't get rid of him unless you can trade. Now, do you trade him for a 5th? I don't know. Maybe I don't know if they got a 5th. That's what I'm saying. I feel like if Mozzie shows you something this year early, first 4 games, I think you try to trade Mozzie if you feel good about what you have with Jay Tua and guys like that. You know, even Ernest Brown. I think we kept Ernest Brown on the practice squad. I've talked about Ernest Brown since the first game, and a lot of people weren't talking about him until towards the end of training camp. It's clear that Ernest Brown was a player to me as far as because he was getting off the ball. Now, does he need to be playing one technique? No, Ernest Brown does not need to be playing one technique, but putting your player in a position to be succeed is put his butt at 3 tech because to me, he was doing a little bit of what Osa can do at times. Now, he just doesn't need to be, he doesn't consistently beat double teams and things like that. So you just got to be careful with playing him too much. But so if you feel good at D tackle, trade Mozzie Smith if he's playing well and move on and get your 5th-round pick. It's already a loss. We already know it's a loss. Right? Now, as far as talent wise, we lost by an average of what 30, 40 points against the Eagles last year. We didn't have our players. I like who we have now. I like the Kyer Elam, the Trayvon Diggs, the Deron Bland. I like some of the linebackers we have, even though not proven. I keep saying that we've invested draft picks in our defensive line, y'all. Let's not be too worried about us not being at least talented enough. We put a 2nd-round pick into Sam Williams. Dante Fowler used to be a 1st-round pick. Marshawn Nealon was a 2nd-round pick. Mozzie Smith, although not proven necessarily. Solomon Smith was a 1st-round pick, right? Donovan Ezeraku, 2nd-round pick. James Houston was not a high-round pick, but he's a guy who we can clearly see can play football. So we have invested in this defensive line. These are just not Micah Parsons. That's all. That's just clear. He's not Micah Parsons. But don't tell me that when you watch Donovan Ezeraku on film, that Donovan Ezeraku on college film didn't give off Micah Parsons type ability as far as getting after the passer. He definitely gave that. I would have loved him to show more when we were able to see him in the preseason, but he in the training camp, I would definitely want to see more. But Ezeraku definitely gave the flashes of I can get off this ball and I have pass rush moves. Marshawn Nealon is a sneaky one. I was critical of Sam Williams because when Sam Williams played in the preseason, I felt like he shouldn't have been playing because he looked hurt to me. But he said he was healthy. I didn't believe he was healthy. If you were to ask me, Sam Williams was not healthy, but he said he was healthy. So I'm going to give you that. I'm going to say you're healthy then. Okay. But if you were to watch Sam Williams play, he did not look good in the preseason. And from the all talks, he didn't look that great in training camp. So I was more for keep Marshawn Nealon as your starting defensive end. But the depth chart says that we're going to start Sam Williams. I don't know what y'all think about that. I think Marshawn is ready to be the starter full time because I think he can start to rush the passer a little bit when you do get play action. I think he can play that run. I was okay with Marshawn Nealon. Again, he's not non-talent. He's a talented player coming out of the draft. He played a little bit last year, but he played more D tackle, and where he played some D tackle as well as D end. Sam Williams must be the guy that they want to see. Sam Williams was a good player for me in my eyes as well until I saw how he looked coming back from the injury. I just want to know if he's healthy. I think we all know Sam Williams can play. I believe we all know that Sam Williams can play. He's a little hothead sometimes. He makes some headed decisions. He even said he has penalties and needs to get rid of that. That's the wrong Sam Williams, he would say. But Sam Williams, we know he can play. The question is, are we going to get a healthy Sam Williams? And for them to have him on the starting depth chart, they're not going to put him out there if he's not healthy. So that tells me that they have faith in what they're saying from Sam Williams. I don't know. I don't know. So this is what I posted when I saw. This is what I saw in the preseason. This is what I saw in the preseason.
Okay, Dallas, it's official. We have a Sam Williams problem. Now, this is one of the first plays. I don't know if he was supposed to run a stunt on this run play, but he did. Great job by the linebackers, able to field. I love it. This was a good play. Everything else was just bad for Sam Williams. This is a tight end and a tackle.
Okay. Look, y'all, look. I'm not tripping, right? I'm talking about effort. On some of this stuff is about effort. He doesn't even come off the ball.
This is a tight end.
Look at that.
And a tackle taking him 5 yards almost off the ball. It was really just a tight end, but there was no effort from Sam Williams. That's what I don't like. There's no effort there. He's just getting beat up right there. And then he starts to do whatever he wants to do. Right here, he's inside and
So remember we saw Micah Parsons do a stunt and he ended up 2-3 people inside. That's what happened here as well.
To do. Right here, he's inside and he loses his gap. The only good thing now is at least Sandburn is not getting hit by anybody and he's able to come downhill and fill the gap. But that's not a good rep by Sam Williams getting smothered. Just not a good rep. Next rep, look at Sam Williams again. I don't know what he's doing right here.
So look, if this is the Sam Williams we're going to get, what are we going to do with this? Now, I'm assuming this is not the guy we're going to get. I'm assuming we're not going to get a guy who runs backwards on run plays. Like that's not how you run any play. He gives up quickly on a pass rush here. You know, like no effort type stuff. He gets too wide here, leaves a wide gap. Not a horrible play, it happens. But you got to be disciplined. You got to see that. Here, again, no effort. Some people were saying the coaches told him to take it easy, work his way. What? You get hurt like that, not playing full speed. You get hurt like that. So if Sam Williams is going to be our starting defensive end, I'm going to need Sam Williams to play with a lot more effort than that, or his butt going to be out of it. He's going to have to be out of the game. That's all I'm saying. He's going to have to be out of the game. So I feel like our strength is on our offensive line. I think that's where our strength is. Again, I said it earlier. Tyler Smith is your all-pro player. He's really unstoppable. Run the ball behind him. Cooper Beebe is now a veteran. Tyler Booker is the power guy. Let's just run that ball. Run behind our offensive line. Show that we have Javonte Williams as a power back. He can run with some power. Show that we're physical enough, and then let the lanes open for the pass. Right? We cannot go out there and have a poor first drive on offense. We can't do it. We can't go 3 and out and have some bad plays. We got to make sure that we give Dak Prescott in a hostile environment, right? This is going to be a hostile environment. The crowd's going to be into it. We got to make sure we're able to ease that crowd down and not put so much pressure on Dak to do everything. So we got to run the ball. Run it behind Tyler Smith. Run it behind Tyler Booker. Double team Jalen Carter. Double team those dudes. You're not dominating the game getting double team. I'm telling you that right now. You're not dominating the game getting double team. All right, so double team those dudes. If you just paid Limke, we just paid Limke a fullback. A lot of y'all don't even know who Limke is. We just paid our fullback. He better be in there blocking. We remember DeMarco Murray days. He had a fullback in front of him. Okay. If we're going to pay a fullback, Hunter Lipke, when we thought we were going to pay Tyler Smith next, well, you better be in there blocking. Or he better do something. All right. Make us more physical. So I think we're in good shape. I believe the Cowboys Have a chance. Y'all already know who I'm going for. Y'all already know who I'm going for. The film shows what we have to do. We watch the film. The film shows, go back and watch it. The film shows what we got to do. The linebackers got to play physical. This is not just on Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is going to give our linebackers an opportunity. But if the linebackers don't play fast, it doesn't do us any good. The linebackers have to play fast. This is going to be a team defensive type of thing. So this is going to be good. It's going to be good. It's interesting to see what comes up. Again, if you didn't subscribe, make sure y'all subscribe. We talked a lot today. Go back and rewatch. Go back and rewatch. All right. We talked about what the Eagles storylines are, what they're looking at. We talked about Brian Schottenheimer and what his keys to success and his philosophy on the run defense is. We talked about what it's going to take as far as the last 5 Super Bowl winners and how good their defense is. We talked about our linebackers. We talked about my keys to success as far as special teams, offense, and defense. We looked at some film. So go back, watch this, subscribe. And who knows, I may go live again later. This is Donovan Talks Cowboys. I hope to see y'all soon.